animal is a quagga. You have never seen one. Although it looks a little like a zebra and a little like a horse, the quagga had stripes only on its head and shoulders. The rest of its body was brown. The hunters of South Africa shot so many quaggas for their meat and skins that in about 1883 they finally shot the very last one. There are many other animals that you will never see. Have you ever seen a great auk or the amazing elephant bird? And you never will. They have all been killed. There are none left in any part of the world. Could this happen to the animals like the one you see in the zoos today? Could there ever be a last elephant? Or a last tiger? Or a last rhinoceros? Yes, there could. At this moment, more than 1,000 different kinds of animals are in real danger. This series will tell you all about endangered animals all over the world. You may have heard the expression, dead as a dodo. We say this when we mean that something is completely dead and gone forever, like dodos. There really were birds called dodos. They lived on a little island called Mauritius in the Indian Ocean, not far from Africa. They were large, chubby birds, a bit bigger than a turkey. Their stubby wings were too small for flying, and their legs were too short for running, so they waddled wherever they went. No people lived on the island. No one ever knew about it until the year 1507. Then ships began to stop there for water and food. Sailors who went ashore to hunt had no trouble capturing the clumsy dodos. Dozens and dozens of big birds were taken aboard ships and used for food. People began living on the island in the 1600s. They ate too many dodo birds. So did the dogs and pigs that the people brought to the island. The dodos were easy to find and catch. They had no way of hiding or protecting themselves. By 1681, there were no dodos left anywhere on the island. They had all been killed. The dodo was gone forever. In one of the stories in the Arabian Nights, Sinbad the sailor tells of a giant bird called a roc. The roc was so strong and so huge that it could pick up an elephant in its claws. There never was a bird that big, of course. The idea of a giant bird may have started when people heard about a real bird that lived on an island near Africa. This bird wasn't as gigantic as the roc, but at 3 meters tall, it wasn't small either. It laid the biggest eggs in the world, the size of footballs. Because of its size, the bird was called the elephant bird. It was probably a slow runner and couldn't fly. It was much too heavy. When people came to live on the island, they discovered that elephant bird meat was very good to eat. So they hunted the birds and went on hunting till there were none left. The last elephant bird probably lived more than 300 years ago. The moa was a huge ostrich-like bird that used to live in New Zealand. Like the elephant bird, it couldn't fly. It didn't even have a trace of any wings, but it had very strong legs, ending in 4 toes. When the first settlers came to New Zealand, they found the moa good to eat and easy to hunt. So the moa ended up just like the elephant bird, extinct, gone forever. Not very long ago, there used to be millions and millions of passenger pigeons in North America. They got their name because they often used to travel to new places to look for food. They flew very quickly in large flocks. These flocks were sometimes so big that they could block out the sun. Passenger pigeons lived in oak and beech forest. In the 1850s, people began to cut down the forest to make way for farms. They used the wood for building and for burning. The birds' nesting places were destroyed. In addition, hunters killed millions of nesting passenger pigeons each year for food. The passenger pigeons only laid one egg each spring, so they couldn't have enough babies to replace the birds being killed. The last passenger pigeon was seen in 1914. When you think how many of these birds were there only 100 years ago, it's amazing that there are none left today. It took only 70 years for all passenger pigeons in the world to disappear. In the cold water around islands of the coasts of Siberia in Russia, there once lived a giant animal bigger and heavier than an African elephant. It looked rather like a huge seal. The skin on its big body was black and thick and tough, like the bark of a tree. This harmless creature lived in shallow water and spent most of its time eating seaweed. The sailors who first saw it called it a Steller sea cow. Steller sea cows were discovered in 1741. A few years later, fur hunters started coming to the islands to hunt seals and sea otters. They found that the meat of Steller sea cow was good to eat, so they hunted them for food. Even then, there were only 2,000 Steller sea cows. They lived near the shore in small herds. This made them easy to hunt. Less than 30 years after they were discovered, the hunters had killed them all. The giant, gentle Steller sea cow had joined a growing list of extinct animals. The island of Madagascar lies off the coast of Africa. On this island lives a strange little animal called the aye-aye. The aye-aye is about the size of a cat. It lives in trees and comes out only at night. Then it leaps about among the tree branches in search of food. Most of the time the aye-aye is silent, but sometimes it makes a noise that sounds like aye-aye. That's how it got its name. The aye-aye has strange looking hands. The middle finger on each hand is much longer and thinner than the other fingers. To get food, the aye-aye chews tiny holes in tree trunks, then reaches in and pulls out little caterpillars which it eats, and to drink it dips one long finger into water and then pulls the finger sideways through its mouth. The aye-aye is one of the most endangered of all animals. The forest where it lives have nearly all been cut down. Many people try to kill aye-ayes when they see them because they believe that aye-ayes bring bad luck. So the aye-aye is in real trouble. The home of the addax is in the barren, sandy wastes of Sahara in Africa. Here, small herds led by an old male travel about searching for tough desert grass to eat. An addax can live in parts of the desert where not even a camel can stay alive. In fact, an addax can go for weeks, even months, without taking a drink. It gets all the water it needs from the plant it eats. The addax is a member of the antelope family. It is an animal that changes its color. In winter, its coat is grayish brown, but its summer coat is milky white. An addax is about 1 meter high. Gracefully curling horns are more than 1 meter long, and its short tail looks like a piece of rope. Even though the addax lives in the loneliest parts of the desert, it isn't safe. It is not a fast runner. A man on a horse or camel can catch it easily, and hunters with rifles and jeeps find the addax
very easy prey. The desert Arabs have hunted it until not many are left. Only a few thousand adaks still live in the Sahara and they are still being hunted. Hyenas and hawks, foxes and frogs, spiders and snakes, lizards and lions, dolphins and dragonflies, all these and many more animals are hunters. They hunt and kill other creatures for food. Some people think of animals that kill as bad, but that isn't true. They only do what they must do to stay alive. People also hunt. They hunt for sport and for food. The kind of hunting that many people do does not upset the balance of nature either. In many countries, people are allowed to hunt only animals that are plentiful and they can shoot only a small number of these animals. But hunting that is not controlled like this can soon upset the balance of nature. In many parts of the world, animals are being wiped out by hunting. There are certain hunters who kill tigers, leopards, otters, and other animals with valuable fur. The hunters sell the skins of these animals to companies that make coats from them. Alligators are hunted too. The skins are used to make shoes, belts, and purses. Hunters kill rhinoceroses for their horns and elephants for their tusks. They try to kill as many of these animals as they can to make lots of money. Many animals are in danger of becoming extinct quite simply because of too much hunting. But some people are now trying to protect them. In many parts of the world, endangered animals are protected by law. Hunters who kill these animals are punished if they are caught. They may have to pay a fine or even go to prison. But it is difficult to catch these hunters or poachers. Endangered animals often live in very lonely places. It is difficult to guard polar bears in the Arctic or eagles in the high Rocky Mountains of America. There is another kind of hunting that has nearly wiped out many kinds of animals. They are killed off on purpose because some people think they are harmful or cause problems. But we are now finding out that many of these pests are not troublesome at all. In Greenland and Alaska, baby seals are hunted for their pure white coats. The baby seals are beaten to death with heavy sticks so that their coats will not be damaged by a bullet or knife. This killing is so shocking that people all over the world have tried to stop it with some success. When people think of endangered wildlife, they usually think of animals, but plants are just as important as animals in all sorts of ways. Many animals need plants to eat, and green plants take in air that give off the oxygen that we need to breathe. Life couldn't exist without plants. Plants have many enemies. Many cannot survive in a place where there is pollution. The roots may suck up any poisons in the soil, and the leaves may take in poisons from the air. Many people still pick plants without thinking or dig up the roots without care. Plants are sometimes attacked by insects or microscopic germs. In Ireland, in the last century, a tiny fungus called blight destroyed the whole country's potato crop. Nearly 1 million Irish people starved to death because potatoes were their main food. Scientists weren't able to stop the spread of Dutch elm disease, which has destroyed thousands of elm trees in the United Kingdom. Dutch elm disease is caused by a fungus carried by a beetle. The disease can kill a whole tree in only 4 weeks. Most plants are helpless when they are under attack by disease. But since scientists have discovered chemicals that keep many of the plants safe, and they have grown new kinds of plants that fungi won't attack. Plants need to be safe, both because they are beautiful and because they are useful. A beaver always seems to be hard at work cutting, carrying, or building. That's why when we see someone working hard, we say he or she is busy as a beaver. This sturdy animal has brown fur and a flat, leathery tail that looks like a paddle. Its strong, sharp teeth are like chisels. Beavers are expert builders. They use their teeth to cut down small trees and trim off the branches. They eat the bark and use the logs and branches to build dams in streams. The dams hold back the water to make quiet ponds. In the ponds, the beavers build dome shaped houses of log, branches, and rocks plastered with mud. We call these houses lodges. Beavers are found in North America and Europe. For more than 200 years, the beaver was the most hunted animal in North America. Many people in Europe and America wore hats and jackets made from beaver fur. More than 100,000 beavers were killed every year just for their fur. By the year 1900, not many beavers were left, but the beavers were lucky. They were saved not just because the people tried to save them, but also because beaver fur hats and jackets went out of style. Beaver fur was no longer worth a lot of money, so beavers were no longer hunted. Slowly, the number of beavers began to increase. Today, there are many of them in forests and streams of North America. Once again, busy beavers are at work building their dams and lodges.